Hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Reed Option, and I am joined by fellow commentator and owner Cole. And we are bringing to you today the final game of this season, the All-Star game, the JFC, the Jugan Football Conference, facing off against the Gridiron Football Conference in what tends to be the most exciting game of the season, in my opinion. What do you think, Cole?
Oh, no, I absolutely agree. Yeah. Like, it's the best talent versus the best talent. There's clearly no bias, only between you and me about who should win. So every other owner gets to enjoy this and cheer their players on, and the only two people that get heavily invested is going to be you and me. So I think this is, shades of season 2. How about that?
No, it sounds about right. We got probably the best quarterback matchup we've ever seen with Ryan Davis and Joseph Abatangelo. I mean, the Collins Moore face off on running back, Bradford setting records in the JFC, and then Jamal West on that space raid offense, kind of ushered in by Sacramento's head coach this season, TLK. Gonna be a point heavy matchup, I think. Let's see what the experts say here.
Ooh.
Split right down the middle, 55-45.
Finally.
Yeah, right. It's not a lopsided thing. We got a back and forth matchup predicted by Dave. Danny, even though his virtual counterpart says they're pretty closely matched, he has a lopsided score. I think I agree with the Dave style of score, maybe like the James style of score. I don't know if I'm buying the 31-9 for Joe. I don't see JFC moving the ball as a crazy take. I'm thinking like GFC 33-30. I don't know.
You know what? After witnessing the Jugan Bowl, a team put up 19 points so quickly on the number 2 defense in the league. I can definitely see the GFC putting up like 15 points in like a 19-9 affair. But no, I would say, you know what? With Kamani Moore's rushing, with Davis's throwing, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 35-32 type of game.
Ooh. There we go. Both of us saying it's in the 30s. And, of course, ball don't lie, as they say. We'll see what the players have to say about it in the nice, good old sunny field of Orlando in Axis. Not sunny. Rainy field in Axis 24.
It's just like Florida. It's
right.
Literally just like Florida. It was sunny about 5 minutes ago.
Legit, yeah. We were looking out of this commentating booth that is very real, and it was sunny 30 seconds ago, and now it's raining. Typical rainy season.
What the audience doesn't know is when we do our intros, the camera turns us around, so we face away from the window. So when we started this game, it was nice and sunny, and then we turned around, and there's an actual hurricane going on. But the players are paid enough to where they're gonna play in this hurricane.
Yeah, I mean, and it's totally not on a loop or anything. The audience is all on their feet cheering the GFC offense as Abatangelo starts off by throwing it to Clemens. Top it after a gain of 8, and a lot of substitutions, as you can tell, are going to happen in this game. Going to see a lot of familiar faces, studs throughout the season from all different teams. Some people you might not think are studs, but a couple of Sacramento players on the offense, as you can clearly tell.
We have a advanced, super intellectual AI that runs the NAGA statistical booth, and oh my god,
Kamani Moore putting up some receiving yards on the sideline there. That was pretty masterful there.
That was an MVP moment right there. What in the world? I mean, he just absolutely threw that man off of him, and. I mean, you look at this. This is a little unfair when you think about it. You've got the two guys who have been like leading for MVP races in the past, and they're on the same team. Okay. So you stop the run with Kamani Moore, the favorite for the MVP, and then the quarterback just drops back and just throws absolute lasers and dimes, and then avoids pressure like it doesn't even matter. Like, what the heck?
And he's spreading the wealth, too. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but I think it's been 5 separate people catching these balls from Abatangelo. He's 5 for 5 starting off this drive, and it's just different guys every single time. Oof.
And, well, there was that one, although
That would have been the
able to
sixth
see
guy.
who that was. That would have been the sixth guy for sure.
You would have been wearing blue, though, I think.
Yeah. Hey, a completion is a completion. I think the most interesting part about all of this is Brooks just absolutely demolishing is the fact that, like, the JFC came in with no engage 8 plays, and then they decided, no, it's actually the greatest play you've ever seen in your life, and that's a touchdown. Oh, my goodness.
Boy. Another name. I mean, I think he called the number of 8 different guys on that. That was absolutely insane. And honestly, if there was a money line for, the DraftKings sports betting, I don't think Reno's Justin Bush was on anybody's radar for getting that first touchdown.
I don't even think anybody knew that man was on the Pro Bowl roster, to be honest.
Yeah, sitting at wide receiver 4 of all places, Bush put up a great season for Reno. I mean, him and Cameron Neighbors sharing the field today. His teammates sitting at fullback, but some shocking names. I'm sure that we would love to see guys like Hingle McCringleberry lining up in the red, but we'll see who else, like Tyrone Shirley getting that tackle for loss there. Some surprising names.
If you put in HMCG, I'm just saying he's going to rip off like a 95-yard touchdown. I think it's pretty good that we don't have him here tonight. It'd be a 78-0 affair. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. I think there's a drastic quality difference in running backs for the two teams right now.
The Kamani Moore, DeMarcus Clark, Julian Forbes, Jabari Gardner lineup versus the Marquise Collins, Amani Garrison, Josiah Bell, Davon Bronson lineup.
I'd argue the better running back is at the bottom of that list, but that's okay.
Right.
And I mean,
no bias.
No bias
No
here.
bias
I mean,
at all.
I'll say this as an unbiased take. I think ATG watched the Jugan Bowl and decided, if Ryan Davis can distribute the ball to 9 different targets, I can do that too. And then just promptly did it on I think it was an 80-yard scoring drive with ease, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, Abatangelo over here, I mean, you got to look up to the greats to be great, and boy, is Abatangelo showing off some greatness today. An unexpected stat line on a field full of all-stars. I mean, the defense is stacked to the gills. I'm surprised the defensive line didn't break through, and they already did. Okay, there we go. Randall Dodd. Actually, that's I think it comes from the linebacker unit, Randall Dodd from Pottsville, breaking through there, but definitely a defensive line weakening them. I mean, the names here on the defense, you got Christian Grant, David Thompson, Robbie Mays, Elijah Jennings, of course, Tyrell Trotter, just absolutely stacked defensive unit. And there's Tyshawn Kennedy from Orlando, I think in his 2nd or 3rd All-Star game, forcing the field goal. But crazy defensive unit for the JFC, highlighting how impressive it is that Abatangelo is able to get any yards at all.
Hey, I mean, my goodness, that shit. Some of the most stacked roster I've ever seen in my life. It's like the complete opposite of the JFC last year, where they had the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. I think it was also Offensive Player of the Year. They had everybody.
Yeah.
And it was like, and now the GFC has all of that, and you're witnessing that right now. I mean, we're about to witness Marquise Collins finally, and he's at 0 yards now after that TFL of -7. So there we go.
There it is.
2 for 0. We pay attention. I have no clue how Devon Bronson got all the way up to running back 2 ahead of Garrison and
Bell.
Yeah, there you go. It's like scrolling down. It's like literally
long list of names, long list of names.
Oh my god.
That was ballistic.
I didn't think I'd ever see a 255-pound man hurdle someone with such ease in my life, and here we are.
He looked so graceful. I mean, Matt Barr taking his ballet classes seriously, clearly.
It looked like he was Kamani Moore out there. I mean,
right.
My goodness. He's the size of a tight end, a lesser offensive lineman, and he just hurdled him like that. Meanwhile, Devon Bronson He's looking towards retirement. There's no way. This performance is I'm just here to not get fined.
Right. I mean, a free trip to Orlando. You know, I think these guys just came from Disney World, so you know these guys. You know, they're having a great time here. Of course.
I mean, hey, you know, like after a three-peat, I mean, you might as well just go ahead and have all the fun, only to find out the All-Star game got pushed to after the championship game. Yeah, you're not exactly going to get the best
right.
performance.
I mean, I'd be worried if I'm the San Antonio Fighters, if, you know, for guys laying some extra hard hits instead of those light hits that you'd expect in the All-Star game, you know. Ryan Davis.
Rack up Ryan Davis.
Yeah, getting some extra bruises today.
Oh, my goodness. And I don't even... Who was that? I can't even tell. The rain is so thick, you can't even see the numbers. I mean, he's just throwing. But that's completely fair. And, you know, to be fair to Bronson, I mean, the man had a 6 total touchdown performance in his second to last playoff game. So, I mean, I feel like, if anything, it's a little expected to witness a little bit of a letdown.
Right. Like, these guys are here tossing balls like they're in the backyard while the GFC's, like, trying to prove a point to the San Antonio guys.
Yeah, they're a bit mad from last year.
Right.
The three-peat.
Right. The three-peat plus that, I mean, you know, these guys came to play, it seems.
Honestly, I think, oh my gosh, it's so many. You think you see the guy one moment, and then he's off the field the next, and then you have ATG just dicing it straight down the middle. I mean, at this point, I'm surprised the defense hasn't rotated through an entire backup roster.
They might have.
This is just too much. They're actually kind of right, and that's insane.
Potentially 6. It is.
That is insane.
Braxton doing what Sacramento's been trying to do all season.
Who knew? It just took a MVP caliber quarterback to unleash the talents of the receivers, and I think Danny's prediction might be correct here.
It's starting to look like it. I mean, unless something slows down, I mean, you know, we're talking about MVP performance quarterbacks. You know, we could get a sub in. You know, thank God a guy like Tommy Tedesco's not here. Fun fact to those watching, he's the only quarterback with a negative quarterback rating. And I know it's supposed to be capped at 0. It's supposed to have a little guardrail for him, but he threw 7 for 17 after subbing in against San Antonio. 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, negative 22.2 quarterback rating for the former, oh my goodness, how many teams has Tommy Tedesco been on at this point? You know,
he's been on 3.
Yeah, he's about to be on more teams because they're about to cut him. I'm predicting, but
it's a slight hot take. They might be cutting the guy. You can't forget the strip sack TD that he gave up, by the way. So he technically had 4 total turnovers. I mean, the guy was a machine. Actually, no, he had 5. He had 2 strip sacks plus 3 interceptions. I mean, he was on a historical run that day.
Right, and it's not. I mean, Kevin Cash isn't perfect. 19 interceptions, but I mean, he threw 4,100 yards this season to make up for it. You know, 27 touchdowns. So, you know, this guy. He's at least, if you do bad, you got to at least be Jameis Winston. You know, you got to at least be Brett Favre. You got to make up for it, you know.
Cash will put up 34 points and give the other team 32. So, you know, I mean, it's like you're never going to have a boring game. I mean, his last playoff win, he had, what was it? He had 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and they still won the game. So, you know, I mean, it's just...
Like
it's incredible.
The point differential will always be very small, but, you know, a win's a win no matter how you win, as they say.
You're entering the playoffs with a plus-minus of 3, and yet you've scored 400 points.
Exactly.
Cameron, you know, I have to be honest. I don't think you could possibly show off why 2 guys are MVP candidates yearly more than what ATG and more are doing. I mean, this is borderline child abuse what they're doing to this defense. This got to be illegal. I mean, this is the best defense that the JFC has to potentially offer, and Abatangelo's only missed one pass.
Yeah,
this is insane.
This is quite possibly, like, I mean, I feel like we said this a little bit last year when he was on the JFC squad. Viewers, if you don't know, Pottsville, they used to be in Omaha. They relocated to Pottsville, so we switched them with Milwaukee.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Barr from Pottsville for switching the team from Omaha to Pottsville to.
Really needed to give GFC another MVP candidate on that side of the ball.
Right, but we see what he can do with a complete team. I mean, Milwaukee made it to the playoffs, and that's awesome. You know, Abatangelo leads his team every year to at least a playoff contention. But, you know, seeing what he can do with an elite squad around him, you know, you got to wonder, why isn't Milwaukee just throwing money at guys?
Yeah.
They got to go out and get some of these guys on this squad. I mean, you know, we never heard of Justin Bush until today. So, you know, I bet you could get him for a cheap price. You know, the odds are.
Hey, there are some players, you know, we're currently on the second day of re-signing phase for all teams' free agents before they hit the potential free market. And, I mean, this is a really good look. I would dare to say San Antonio is just kind of, they've checked down. San Antonio players, they went to Disney World. They were informed of a last-minute All-Star game, and they're just kind of vibing now. Zaire Barrett probably staying a little bit longer in Disney World since he didn't get the invite.
Yeah, I think there was videos of him on Instagram Reels. He was hogging up the line at Splash Mountain.
Yeah, Zaire Barrett, turns out, by the way, on the rarest interception you've ever seen in your life for ATG.
Right, shout out Rashawn Hicks. Shout out Rashawn Hicks.
Yeah, literally, the guy who, by the way, shows up in season, what was that? That was season 5, I believe? Season 5, no. Yeah, it's season 5. He shows up in season 5's Jugan Bowl, plays his tail off, absolutely shows why he's a great player, and he winds up getting shipped off. So he's here now, showcasing why he should be the reason for the JFC's potential resurgence.
Right. Any team's success. I mean, we're talking about Milwaukee getting players, but how about another team getting Joseph Abatangelo? I mean, dare I speak such blasphemy against the king, you know, but feel like trading Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, I mean, there are owners out here that have made questionable decisions before with trades, so I mean, you know, it's not far-fetched.
Yeah, anything's possible. You know, never overestimate what an owner's willing to do to get certain players, like perhaps an aging quarterback. You know,
they may or may not, you know, have made the whole let's cap on how many picks you can give to a team. You know, they may or may not have been the reason for that.
Yeah, you know. Hypothetically, for, you know, allegedly.
allegedly, everybody, allegedly. But yeah, as we witness, I think the greatest dissection of a defense I've ever seen in my life. If anybody had Abatangelo below any quarterback before this, my question would be why.
Right. Like, which league are you watching? You know?
What are you witnessing? Because I mean, literally, it's some of the greatest throws I've seen today. And the scariest part is the fact that they don't even need the MVP candidate in Kamani Moore, and he could easily run for 300 yards today and put up 6 total touchdowns like he's done before. And finally, Ryan Davis connects with a receiver for the first time since, like, I think the first quarter.
Yeah, that was quite the snag by Shaquan Ellis. I mean,
that really was. That was a high double covered ball, and I mean, my goodness, it's just not. I would say this is just not exactly the greatest of acquired playmaking players here. As Holloway with a breakaway, and they'll call a timeout and kick a field goal here. So Fan and Goat,
all-time points leader right here,
and potentially the JFC kicker of the year. So he might He might get his star div back.
Man.
This is, I'm just going to say it. This is going to be a little bit of a hot take here. This is an ass whooping.
I didn't expect this at all. I mean, I think I saw these guys warming up before this, and I mean, Davis was making connections. Abatangelo was getting his passes broken up. So, you know, maybe someone was jawing. I'm willing to bet Jacob Fraser said something. That's my take. He's always had a mouth.
Yeah.
You know, that culture in Raleigh, they just.
Oh man. They're their Dallas Cowboys, you know. They let their big talent talk, and the big talent talk, and you can't piss off a quarterback like Abatangelo. And when you piss off Abatangelo, he fires up the defense, and next thing you know, you got the quarter. Oh my goodness!
What a catch!
What halftime speech was going on here between Davis and Ellis? My goodness, 4 for 4. I think he's literally 80% of Davis's catches right now.
Yeah, and I mean, this is Shaquan Ellis is wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in Columbus, but he recorded the best stats on their whole team. And I think, I mean, a lot of guys, like, I don't want to compare him to somebody that's worse than him, but in real life, Juju Smith-Schuster benefited a lot from being the number 2 guy. And I don't think that's the case with Ellis putting up these numbers on these All-Stars, but boy, does he, you know, really show out, even for being the number 2, number 3 guy on his squad.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a rare miss here, and it's just no good. Not even
52 in the
whole
rain.
Way down. Rain, wind, you know, you got, oh, man, it's just a rough day for JFC. But, I mean, it's to be expected when, oh, my, I don't know what Abatangelo thought he was going to do there.
But there he is, the Grim Reaper, Christian Grant.
Man of nothing but sheer willpower, a free blitzer in the face, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the top 3 quarterbacks when facing a blitz, you've got Davis, number 2, I'd say. Allegedly. Number 1 is Abatangelo, though. But then obviously you've got Gallagher as well, and I mean, at this point, I don't even know if you should even go to stop the run anymore if you're the JFC. I mean, this guy Abatangelo, he's unstoppable. This is ridiculous.
Like, at some point you gotta start doubling up on the receivers, but there's so many targets. You gotta rely on plays like that. Robbie Mays, I think that's a 3rd sack for the JFC today.
That is, and it hasn't mattered though, because I think every sack they've got, they've just wound up converting because it's Abatangelo, the freak of nature. I mean, I think we watched it last Pro Bowl where Abatangelo for the JFC 3rd and forever and just connected. So it didn't matter. And we're gonna watch Malcolm Braxton come back in. So this is gonna be another potential first. Whoa, Kyle,
there he is. Talk about MVP candidates.
Literally. Unfortunately, the way the forms are submitted, Costa didn't have this man's name on any of them, despite being number 1 leading in interceptions, number 5 in tackles, and
this is like the election hanging Chad scandal back in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
for the NAGA.
For the NAGA,
like, does the form count if he's not on it? You know,
literally, right? And Bronson showcasing a bit of his old self, a little bit too late though, not gonna lie. Amani Garrison coming in on a potential pass play here with 3 wide receivers and tight end. And I'm a liar. You should never listen to me.
The reverse Tony Romo effect.
The reverse, yes. And you know what's crazy is I always remember our time when we were talking about, I forget what team it is, but it's somewhere in that media broadcast where I predicted an exact play for a 60 or 70-yard pass play touchdown. And ever since that moment,
I remember
that.
Down. You peaked. That was it for you. It was the top.
That was it.
Your commentating.
My media career just fell down after that.
Man, all these names: Quentin Bell, Vinny Knox. I mean, we're seeing guys from every team. Fun fact: every team except Albuquerque. Not even B.J. Austin made the roster this year. So every single team.
Second year too.
Yeah. 31 teams out of 32 had at least one guy to some capacity outside of Albuquerque. So RIP Albuquerque. They had a really rough start at the beginning of their season. I'm not blaming anyone, Brandon Hadley, but you know they need to clean things up over in Albuquerque.
If there's ever been a nominee for a team to either A, hit a full-blown reset blow up, or B, be dissolved, I think it's Albuquerque.
Honestly. No way.
And here comes a Davis. Oh, that was fast. I don't think we've ever seen him move that fast.
It's from all the rest he got here in Orlando.
Yeah. And Collins, not enough. So that'll be.
They need to go for it. They need to go for it.
But they won't.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's unfortunate. It is. But hey, what can you do, right?
Right. And I mean, Fan and Steel, you know, he proved that he's not Jake Parkey. He just kicked it straight through from the right hash from point blank range.
Don't worry, he proved it earlier on that 52-yarder.
Right. Yeah, there you go. A little more understandable of a miss, of course, than the Season 5 Jugan Bowl shank.
He sailed that one, and Jabari Gardner and Kamani Moore ran over to the sidelines and said, "Hey, man, nice miss."
Yeah, nice miss over there, buddy. Start waving to him.
Fan and Steele's exact response was putting up 4 fingers with 4 rings on them.
Speaking of 4, Lusk recording the 4th sack. Good old representative from Vancouver. Shout out to Vancouver.
That is insane. Vancouver having a rep is insane. I'm just going to be straight up honest.
Honestly. You know, and it's a testament to see, you know, they're getting somewhere. They're getting somewhere.
Their quarterback had a 500-yard passing game. I mean, that's just, and there's no way. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been insane.
Christ. That would have. I'm sorry.
You could hear a pin drop when that went in the air.
I would have immediately cashed an MVP vote right then and there. But like, well, shit. I don't know what else you could do for this one.
Right.
I don't mean to curse, but it's like that's just. That would have been that play where it's like, all right, guys, we gotta up the rating on the TV. That's insane. That's almost on par with Kamani Moore's insane 6 total touchdown. And I think did he have a 300-yard performance before? I think he did. Did he not?
Oh man, I would have to refer to the stat sheets. I don't even know. He's had some great games. I know Clark's had some crazy games too. I mean, you have 2 of the most crazy young running backs.
Prolific running backs,
right.
Yeah. Go! I don't think so. He got pretty close, though, with a 248. And that was obviously not going to be completed. My goodness.
Go for
Clark and Moore, yeah, cowards. Yeah, Clark and Moore are definitely the future of the NAGA. I mean, you look at their talent. It's insane. I mean, and the poor GFC, and I say poor in big air quotes right now, is, you know, they have an 18-point lead, but, you know, they don't get to show off Kamani Moore because it's like you just have Abitangelo just dicing up the secondary because he's so used to playing against high-end defensive backs in the GFC, most notably the Virginia Beach Mariners, and you have something like that, oh goodness, I mean, every pass he throws, and the defensive end on his back, and he just doesn't flinch. It's like, so you have Kimani Moore in the back who can easily get you like at least 5 touchdowns, and instead you have Christian Grant blowing up a pass play.
Right, and this is, I mean, GFC has a pretty great offensive line here too. I mean, they're pretty stacked out the gills here with Cummins, Engstrom, Grady, Davidson, and Hodge there lined up in front of him. So he's got the best protection he can get, and he's still getting reached by that defensive line.
Yeah. You know, and I'll say this. If we ever had Pro Bowl votes for kick returners and punt returners, I'm just saying, I think Zaire Barrett probably had some of the best punt returning this season. I think that would have been a great addition, as Davis is going to take off and not get the first down.
No, that's a first.
Wait, whoa.
He got it.
All right.
He's got more rush yards than Collins, I think. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I think he does. I think Collins has all of 8.
Oh, he heard us.
Yeah, he's like, he heard it, and then the defender said, that's too bad, I don't care.
Tack on 1.
1 whole yard. Here we go. This is going to be a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of stat line for Ryan Davis, where he inevitably leads the RB1 in rushing yards. And I think Bronson's actually taken over in rushing yards now.
No, yeah, they're running with the hot hand there in the JFC backfield.
They said, we want to juke it. Oh, my God.
Touchdown.
10 for 20, but my God, that was incredible.
Trayvon Miller. Good Lord. Orlando's got 2 wide receivers here on the core with Rashawn Holloway and Trayvon Miller. I tell you what, you know who's not there? Their quarterback. They are carrying that team. It is such a clutch throw and catch from Davis to Miller.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, honestly, like, we're here for the highlight. That's the most great part about it, right? And Abitangelo trying, but, man, right into a blitz, unfortunately.
He was like, Davis can run? I can run.
I can run, too. And then he met the greatest defensive line you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
And that is some incredible protection. I don't even know what to say. That wasn't even a blitz. That was just straight up, like, just max protection. Oh, my God.
Seeing this pocket play is really, I mean, we can be as critical as we want of Axis's trenches, but that, I mean, just seeing how Abitangelo acts in this pocket shows what a quarterback in Axis football can do.
You give a quarterback a good awareness, and they will lead you to the promised land. I mean,
honestly.
The staple here is Abitangelo with Milwaukee. It's like, yeah, they have a great team, but it's kind of like Orlando, right? It's like you put a bad, the stiff arm of hell just coming out of nowhere. And who was that? I think that was Jacob Frazier that he threw 5 yards to the right.
You know, and that makes sense.
First down. Nope.
He had to do it for his quarterback. You know, Frazier was running his mouth. He had to stiff arm him into oblivion.
Hey, if you talk trash, you got to back it up.
Right. Seen a good bit of Clevenger and Hellwig today. You know, I'm surprised.
I mean, there's a lot of names you wouldn't even expect coming out today, and it's been really nice. I think the only unfortunate side of this is the JFC probably should have passed a lot earlier, and that would have been the most insane catch I'd ever seen in my life if a tight end caught a 1v7.
Right. I think that was Elijah Gilbert running that route. Either that or Bruno Spina.
Yeah. And, you know, for San Antonio, they're kind of happy that Ryan Davis isn't exactly lights out tonight because, you know, he had his lights out game earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, viewers watching this, if you haven't seen it already, go back and watch probably the best Jugan Bowl I've ever seen. That was a really close and high-scoring Jugan Bowl. You know, shout out to the three-peat champs, San Antonio Fighters, of course.
I think that was the greatest one, specifically because despite having the second-best defense, Taquan McFadden and that young offense was basically the Washington Commanders came out. Go. And I mean, like, there was just no hope at first. I mean, they go out, they score in three plays. And then to score 19 points in the fourth quarter just shows you that, like, any other game, any other day, that would have been a Tucson victory.
Oh, yeah. You know, like, you run that 7 games, I don't know who comes out on top. That was a true testament to how even those two teams were.
Oh, especially the fact that Tucson had such a great chance to win it all. And this is a bit unfortunate, low-scoring game. I think.
Yeah, we were both expecting in the 30s, but you know the rain I think had a major factor in how high-scoring it was. You know, subtracted at least 10 points from each side, and then of course the Fraser motivating Abitangelo. You know that definitely played into the GFC playing a little more lights out. But
and to the fact that the JFC probably wasn't exactly happy with, you know, how their starting running back performed in the first half with the run plays, but Kamani Moore icing this game. A little bit unfortunate. You would have loved to see a final drive.
Right.
But, you know, Moore does what he does.
A little more touchdown action would have been cool to see to put the cherry on top, but GFC coming out on top, redeeming from last season. Obviously, next year we expect the story to go the other way. But
I don't know. I mean, you got 2 MVP candidates
That's true.
for the next 10 years.
Depends on what trades happen here in the offseason, which is coming up. So the draft, all these offseason signing periods, crazy things could happen. And of course,
Virginia Beach doesn't want anyone to know, but they're actually going to be trading Kamani Moore for every future first-round pick in the world to San Antonio, so JFC has a shot.
There we go. Might give him the who needs a running back? Pretty much every team in the JFC. Clearly.
Give him to Birmingham, see how that goes.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, man. But great stat line there by Abitangelo. We got, not too bad for what he was up against for Davis. No interceptions for Davis. Looking at the individual stats. Yeah, Collins averaging 2.7. Not what you want to see.
I don't know how he pulled out 40 yards, by the way.
Right. There must have been one breakaway play.
Like, you have people who are box watchers and all that, and it's like, they'll look at that and they're like, 40 yards. You watch the game, I don't know how he got 40. I think the game just made that up.
Looks like he hit 6 different targets. Ellis getting 6 targets by himself, or 6 catches by himself with
That's insane, because I think he had, 10 total targets, too. Like, he had
7 targets.
4 different... Well, but, no, never mind. He had 8 total. He was targeting 8 different players.
He targeted, Gilbert and Walker.
Which is a little insane that Walker only had 1 target, and the 1 target he had nothing to go.
It's crazy. Sorry, Logan, your golden boy didn't do nothing today.
Marcellus Walker doing Marcellus Walker things, If it ain't for the contract, he don't care.
Oh man, Rashawn Hicks, look at that.
That is one of the future young Matt McDonoughs right there. I mean, he is only 25, and Jesus.
Holy TFL, Batman.
JFC got the San Antonio playbook of stop them behind the line of scrimmage. Right. The only issue they had was that they didn't have the personnel for the secondary, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, but these trenches, Grant and McGarry, you got DT3 and Westbrook. Obviously, not really any recordable stats for those two, but
they're more of an F the play up type of guys.
Right.
I mean, you ask any of the JFC South teams about DT3, and it's like he doesn't put up many stats, but my God, does he put your quarterback on his back every play?
Exactly. A lot of players recording stats, though. I had to scroll there for a while. Got some returns here. Bradford doing a great job there. Fancy with that 152-yard miss in the rain. Abitangelo. Got to be MVP of the game for sure.
If not for the rain, I think Kamani Moore would have. Okay, well, that's.
Yeah, I was going to say he did worse than Collins.
Let's not exactly look at that stat line. That does.
All of them, other than Clark, with 6.3 yards per carry. Abitangelo, -8. The KO, 1.4. Gracious. Talk about, really relying on the pass game today. Let's see how many.
Hey, when you get the #1 rush defensive playbooks, it's. And everybody caught a pass here, by the way. Everybody caught a reception on the GFC. That is insane.
8, 9, 10, 11 different targets caught.
And the scariest part of this all is at least 8 of them have 100% catch.
Yeah, no drops, but then there's the targets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, boy. 5, 6.
Saw that one.
6 of them. Yeah. Daquan Miller. What's happening over here? Who is he being covered by? Gracious.
Probably Cairo Trotter.
Honestly. And of course, the yards goes to Braxton. Touchdowns. Bush, West, Braxton. Crazy outing from that wide receiver unit. And Faulkner got a chip on his shoulder from that Jugan Bowl loss. Goodness, putting up some stats today.
Insane.
Devontae Thomas. Only 2 sacks for the GFC. And only 3 tackles for loss.
And what's even more insane is he's not even the starter. Zach Faulkner's the backups. He's the 3rd middle linebacker. So it's like, He just came out and just did whatever he wanted.
Lamonte and Wilkerson over here getting 3 defended passes per person, and 3-6. Williams with 2. A linebacker, Faulkner with 2. So that's 8, 10, 11, 12 defended passes. Goodness
So
gracious.
12. I think Davis went what, 11 of 23 or something like that.
It was something like, it was close. There might have been like 1 or 2 because he threw one away. So
Yeah, he threw one away.
But yeah, so
you said there was how many? 12 deflected
12.
passes?
So that means there was 3. Then he threw at
3
least 1
passes
away.
Yeah,
So,
and 2 were just incomplete.
2 just incomplete.
That's insane.
Man. What a stat line for Ryan Davis.
I mean, that just means like it literally requires someone to get between him and that pass.
Yes.
Which I mean is what you'd expect from these guys, especially Lamonte Jackson, kind of trying to get back for that Chugan Bowl loss. Because I mean, Davis just was not stopped all game.
Yeah, you can tell.
And then you come to the Pro Bowl.
The guys that did good, why they did good. You know, Lamonte and Zach Faulkner. They
Bit of a angry run.
Yeah,
from,
a little extra motivation there. Of course, Clay. Nothing too crazy from Sean Clay, the veteran kicker from Delaware. But, of course, Jimmy Clevenger, Pasta believed this was his 2nd or 3rd All-Star game. This is his first one. Wichita punter. So Pasta has some Mandela effect going on. But the GFC is going to move on to play against the SCFSL in our 2nd collaboration. There's another sim league. If you don't know who they are a user first league. We are more so of an owner first league. Both run on Axis Games. We are pretty much the test dummies as well as the semi-official leagues for Axis. But let's see. This season, we always do things by conference, but I believe, and typically the SCFSL does too, but this past season they did it by kind of like the NFL did for a while, where like they have 2 guys draft the all-star teams. So I think Team Adam gets to play the GFC team. I think it's going to be pink against red, so interesting color matchup. Not going to look too pretty probably, but I believe Danny himself will be on that stream for everybody. So looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Hopefully closer than the last one. Our leagues are a little different, and we found that out really quickly. So hoping
Call
for
me Tony Roma the way I predicted that.
Right. We're hoping for an actual watchable product, which is what we always aim for in sim leagues. I mean, you want something that's not just watching grass die, or even this, as bad as it was in the first half, this was very watchable the whole way through.
Yes.
24-13. This felt a lot. Not an 11-point difference. It felt more like a 1-score game based off of the push and pull from both sides. So
I would definitely agree to that. I think it was 11 points, and obviously they jumped out to a 24-0 lead at some point, and it's it's crazy. But you also have to remember, I mean, there's 2 MVPs on that GFC side, so the fact that the JFC shut them out in the second half is a little bit more impressive than you'll see on the surface level.
And it's a good representative of the NAGA. I'm glad we're sending 2 MVP candidates to face the SCFSL. But looking at this distribution, about equal in plays. I mean, only like a 50-yard difference, and then the sacks. JFC went heavy on the sacks, and JFC took 2 turnovers away from the GFC. So, you have a pretty balanced scale here from both sides, and same for the passing yards, rush yards distribution. A little more on the passing side for GFC, a little more on the JFC. So, this is it was a great game. I really like this. I mean, game of the year, maybe. I don't know.
I would still contend that one of the game of the years has to be either one of the playoff games or one of the regular season overtime games. But I can see that because I mean I think this is what, the first ever All-Star game as well that a team has lost the sack and turnover battle and won the game.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. We might have to go back and look at all of our tandem commentaries. I think that's what sets these games apart too. I mean, you can hear our voices, me or Cole or Pasta, separately on some of the streams. Of course, we're not the only members of the media team, but that's really what sets the entertainment aspect of this apart, is not only the talent on the field, but I mean, you get to hear some conversation going on like you would watching any sport. So it gets a little bit more of that immersion, a little bit more of that entertainment value in this. So game of the year, just because of all those factors, right? Not just because of the product on the field. But
biased take, but
super biased
commentary by you and me is the game of the year. we could be doing the Tank Bowl, and I'd still say it'd be game of the year.
Which actually, I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty good game. I don't know if you watched the Tank Bowl, but it was actually really close.
I watched it thinking it was the Jugan Bowl game, and I went, that's not Ryan Davis. And I said, and then as I watched it, they did the coolest tight end catch across the middle.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he ran
Bruno
up the right.
Spina.
And I was like, wow. And then the Jugan Bowl game came on, and I said, all right, time to stress for the next 28 minutes.
Right, start getting those sweats. Man.
As Tucson drives 78 yards in 3 plays. How wonderful. I do agree, though. I think, obviously, the more that there is commentary to this stuff, it helps. You get more, I would say, a bit of an insight to how these players are, where these players come from, the type of things that are expected from this game. Because if you watch this game without the commentary or AI commentary, you don't really get the backdrop, so you don't really know what you're looking at. You're just looking at numbers and names. But to look at this and to basically say you had 2 MVP candidates on the offensive side of the ball, you had a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate on the defensive side for the JFC, and this game was a lot closer than what you could have expected from the start. I mean, it's pretty great. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're coming, and this is like your first game you're watching, any given game, if it's the first game you're watching and you get, love them to death, the Mike and Dave treatment, you get the computer commentary, you're not really getting the full picture of what's going on in the league, which of course you could get the full picture if you're in the Discord server, which we link in all of the, descriptions, but, but from just watching the game, and if this pops up on your recommended and you're like, oh, let's check this out, I feel like this one, these types of games, regardless of what it looks like on the field, you're more likely to get invested. So, and hopefully that's the result of this. I mean, it was a great game, and since we're at the end of the season, we got a lot of time for people to hop in and be new owners. We got some slots available for some poverty franchises, but some good franchises. So.
Delaware is coming off a almost undefeated season. That's a pretty good team you could take over. We've got some teams here. Fort Wayne is a pretty strong team as well. Got a couple first-round picks. They played pretty well as well. Then you've got the poverty teams that are kind of left over, and you can kind of rebuild those as you would see fit. Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City Cougars. You could also join the Gauntlet divisions. You could join the El Paso Toros, the Baton Rouge Redbirds, or the Brooklyn Bandits, Delaware Pioneers, and face 2 of the best teams in the NAGA. So yeah, there's a lot of options out here. You could also take on, as we mentioned earlier, the 0 All-Star player team in the ABQ River Monsters.
Yeah, try to give them some relevancy and some consistency in something. Yeah, give them vision, give them something, please. This is an open invitation. Please take the Albuquerque River Monsters. We're begging you.
We're not gonna pay you, but we're just gonna say we'll be very thankful.
I might give me your cash app. Whoever watches and takes the Albuquerque River Monsters, please.
We'll give you $1. That's $1 you didn't have before.
Get incentives for winning. $1 per win.
Heck yeah, that's 12 potential dollars right there. That's at least maybe a fast food meal if you're lucky.
Yeah, that's like one coffee from Starbucks.
That's a down payment for a coffee right there. That's pretty great.
Gotta love that. But, exciting stuff in the league, exciting off-season collaborations. Axis 26 coming out in September, I believe, early September. So, and this was just the little icing and cherry on top of the Season 6 for the NAGA. As usual, I'm beyond grateful to anyone who participates in this. It's a super fun little side hobby. And, it's not like you're doing anything physical. You're just strategizing. For nerds like, us and a couple other owners who I know just love this type of thing. You're not a stick jockey. You don't want to, play 1v1 against the 12-year-olds who are just going to absolutely kick your butt online if you're playing a game like Madden or Max Football. So, this is always super fun for me. Cole, you got any closing remarks?
Absolutely. I am excited for the upcoming potential newness of what we're about to do in between the next iteration of Axis Football. That, or we'll just do another season. As E said, go ahead, join the Discord. That's where you can get all your updates. You can also be a part of the league. We've got a lot of open teams, got a lot of head coaching positions, as well as just visitors who just want to chill. We've also got a lot of cool things coming down the pipeline for league changes. The draft obviously is coming up. You can make a player prospect there. Hey, the more you guys watch this content, the more it makes the league more enjoyable. And also, as well said before, the upcoming matchup between the NAGA and the SCFSL, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, it should be correct. I'm a little dyslexic. We're going to be witnessing hopefully a better turnout of a performance for the NAGA. I believe we are hosting the streaming rights to that this time. That, or it will be on Danny's channel. I think it's us, though. I think since they hosted it last time, we'll be hosting this time.
Yeah, we have Onyx preparing the space for him. He's dusting as we speak.
In between his extreme college workouts and classes, he's also dusting off all the work. A bit of a junior media member hazing apparently.
He's getting the microphones ready. He's getting it all tidy up. Preparing the space for Danny Jugan.
He's getting it all ready. Pally will show up 3 weeks late. Don't worry, but he'll bring a great energy.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys will be checking out more stuff. I will make zero promises on this because obviously me and E are always busy, but we also do try to do podcast episodes whenever we have the chance. Those are a great insight to the league and the information about what's changed, other stuff going on there. If not, that's why you got to join the Discord, because you can get the constant information updated all the time. And you can also witness in real time how annoying it is to watch a team three-peat. So all that good stuff, join the Discord. We have open teams, player prospects, and of course, if you like what you see, always leave a like. Always comment if you got any comments about what you feel about this content, what we can improve, what we can probably take away. And yeah, that's about it. So we will see you all next time. I am Cole, that is E, and hopefully the next time we see you will be in the draft.